Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another in our series of miniature masterpieces. And this one is taken from the Naxos complete edition of Rossini's Sins of Old Age, the Péché de Vieillesse, an amazing collection of piano and chamber music that is really only just now coming into its own because it's really only just now getting published and disseminated in usable, handy-dandy editions by the Rossini Complete Edition people and others. And I have to say, this music is beyond marvelous. And if I were to tell you that Rossini was one of the great composers for the piano of the 19th century, right up there with Chopin and Schumann and all those guys, you would probably think I was crazy. But it's true. And there is a tremendous amount of this music. He was a forerunner of Erik Satie in his use of funny little titles and in his generally humble dismissal of the value of this stuff. But it's really great music. And beyond being great music, there's a lot of it. If you were to add up and stick it all on CD, you'd have like 8 or 9 CDs. In other words, you would have just as much piano music as there is in the Beethoven sonatas, all 32 of them. So Rossini was a very substantial composer for the instrument, and he wrote masterpieces. They are indefinable masterpieces. They're not sonatas. They're character pieces. And most of them, the time the character is not even definable as they are in, for example, Chopin's character pieces like mazurkas or preludes or nocturnes, or they're just what they are. And what they are is marvelous. So for this miniature masterpiece, I have selected a little tiny little dance from, let's see, his Quelque Rien pour album, which you might call the album of little nothings, which is sort of how that translates, which consists of 24 short pieces. There are some very long pieces. There are 15, 20-minute long single movement pieces in here. There's some big stuff. And there's also a lot of little stuff. Most of it falls somewhere in between. This particular number is marked Allegretto Moderato. It's number 12 out of the 24 nothings. And it's subtitled Danse, sibérienne, the Siberian dance, whatever the heck that is. And it's quite splendidly played here by Alessandro Marangoni, who does this entire series. And we're going to talk about this series. We're going to talk about the box. We're going to talk about things in the box, because it's just a treasure chest of incredible music. But I wanted to present first this tiny, tiny little sample, a little hors d'oeuvre, if you want to call it that. So here it is, Rossini's Siberian Dance from his Little Nothings and the Sins of His Old Age. What makes that piece so marvelous, I think, is the unpredictable harmonic trajectory of it. I mean, the rhythm is quite simple, essentially. It's a dance piece, clearly, but the melody is so original, and the harmonies are so quirky, and that's what makes Rossini's piano music so interesting. It's really indefinable. If I had to play it and say to you, who wrote that? I mean, you would never guess, never in a million years. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tiny, tiny little miniature masterpiece, because that's surely what it is. There are many of them in Rossini's Sins of Old Age, and I'm going to have a fabulous time over the next decade or so talking about a lot of them, because I really believe that this is one of the most underrated and unexplored major piano repertory that's still out there. And exploring it is going to be a joy. I guarantee it. So keep on listening, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.